Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday Night Warrior. I'm Spencer, host of Constructive Criticism and Limited Time Only, two podcasts about getting better at Magic the Gathering. This week, we are doing a topic that is, what's the right word? It is very intense in my heart. It is something that I feel semi-passionately about, and we're going to talk about net decking. And I want to start off, I'll just say it up front. I hate the word net decking. I think that net decking as a word is an excuse for people to say why they're losing at Magic. And I don't like it. I think people use it as a crutch to say that they lost because of a net decker. And I think that if every person removed that from their vocabulary, they would get better at Magic. So let's just start off by being upfront and saying that. So, what is net decking, for those who don't know? So, net decking is a term that's given to people who take their deck lists from online and bring them to an event and play them. So, they see what won an SEG or a GP, and then they play that deck at another event. And there are a lot of people who think that this analytical thinking has basically ruined Magic. And so I kind of just want to address it. This isn't going to be a ranty video. I've watched a lot of videos about net decking, and they're all these really long 25-minute just rant videos. And I'm not going to rant. I'm actually going to talk about both sides and my opinions and let you guys post comments and see what you think. But so let's start with what's good about net decking. So people want deck lists. That's a huge part of it. People want to see what won. People want to take a deck that a pro played with, and they want it. It is a want in the Magic community. The other good thing is it lets you prepare for something that's out there that's really good. If you think about it, showing up to the Wild Wild West for some people might not be as fun as being able to say, okay, so I need to be able to beat Abzan, I need to be able to beat Esper Dragons, I need to be able to beat a Tarka Red, and I need to be able to beat Green-Red Devotion going into this event. How do I do that? And they get to make decisions as to how they want to do that and how they want to attack the metagame. And, for a lot of people, that's enjoyable. That's what they want to do. Whether it's picking one of those decks or making up a new deck to try and fight all of those different decks. What's bad about it? It can create an amount of laziness. Some people are just like, this deck 5-0 competitive league, I'm taking that to Athenum this week. And so they feel like they don't have to put in the work, and they get lazy. So let's talk a little bit about innovation. So I oftentimes hear innovation is dead. People say innovation is dead, nobody innovates anymore. They just take whatever deck won the SEG, change 2 cards, and they're done. Well, so that's innovating. If you are not straight up taking the net deck and changing things to improve the deck, you're innovating upon that deck. Is it enough innovation? No, probably not. You probably need to innovate more. And oftentimes people even do that incorrectly, where they won't test the cards out that they're taking out, and they'll just say, well, I want to put my stamp on this. And sometimes that's just not enough. Is innovation dead is pretty interesting, because I think there's a lot of people who would say no. Like, if you look at the Mardu deck that just won the GP, that deck is innovative. It's very, very different from the Mardu decks that we've seen previously. You might say, oh, they just added another great card, but at the same time, they took out Veteran Motorist, which was one of the key cards in the deck, and they added, Walking Ballista, which is just completely different for the deck. Can't even crew your Heart of Karen most of the time. So they're doing some pretty big stuff by making that change. They're also playing 6 Planeswalkers with the decks where you're usually playing 3, making yourself a bigger mid-rangey deck. Some of the decks are even playing Avacyn in the main, so that you can have that Walking Ballista Avacyn interaction. So there's definitely innovation going on within those deck lists. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, that's not enough. You need to do different things. And, I consider myself actually a brewer. I do a podcast called Constructive Criticism, but we actually go over the metagame every week. And oftentimes, I'll say a deck that's not in those top 5 decks that I'll be playing. I just did a video about Jeskai Control with no Saheeli in it. I consider that innovating. Like, there's nobody's playing straight Jeskai Control right now. And, I took out the combo because I thought it was bad in the deck, and I thought you could win without it. If you look at both of the tournaments that I won states with, I won with a rug. I'll put a link to these decks in the show notes. But I won with a rug Aetherworks Marvel deck with that had a transformational sideboard that it could sideboard into white cards, including Spell Queller, and in the main deck it even had things like Drowner of Hope in it to fix some of the problems that the deck had at the Pro Tour. And it was a very different deck than anything else anybody was playing, and you can take a look at it. And a lot of people are like, well, that's not brewing. And it's like, yeah, it's definitely brewing. Nobody else is doing it. The other deck that I won states with was a Jund deck with Huntmaster of the Fells and Farseek. Long before anybody was playing Jund, it had Disciple Bolas. I have a deck that's posted on SCG that's a 4-color mid-range deck. Jedi Jund that I played in an event. I qualified for my first Pro Tour playing Teamer before anybody was playing Teamer. Like, I consider myself a brewer. And you might say to yourself, Spencer, like, your little states tournament, your little RPTQ, and these SCGs don't count. Like, we're talking about GPs and, like, the big stage. But the problem is the people that are complaining about net decking, they're all playing at the FNM level. So, yeah, my little states tournament does actually impact what you're saying, because I'm saying that you're saying you can't win because people are net decking, and you can't innovate because people are net decking, and I'm winning much bigger tournaments than your FNM with my brews. Like, and I'm not saying that I'm like this amazing Magic player and that, I can do it and you can't. I'm actually saying anybody can do it. You just have to put in the work. And, like, it's actually a lot easier to attack a room full of people that are net decking than it is to attack a room full of people where you have no idea what people are playing. Your job got easier, not harder. Net decking didn't make your job of innovation harder. Now there can be oppressive strategies that make your job harder, but, like, let's pretend that MTGO didn't post deck lists. At some point, somebody would post about this deck that they lost to on Reddit. People would try and build the deck, and then, like, people would just keep winning with the same deck eventually, and it would be oppressive, and you wouldn't be able to amass enough information fast enough to attack that deck. Now, yeah, sometimes the format gets stale, but I feel like that was gonna happen anyway. I don't know that net decking is what does that as much as, the power level. Like, Standard got stale recently, in my opinion, because they printed cards way up here, and most of the other cards were way down here in power level. And that's why the format got stale, because the cards just couldn't compete with each other. Now, another thing that I want to mention on this is, like, tuning is pretty important. And I kind of touched on it earlier, but tuning is a great way to improve your win percentage. Showing up with the correct 60 is actually, like, really fun and really hard. I know that a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to play New Year matches and whatever. That's awesome. That gives you an opportunity to brew. You have a list of decks that you need to beat, and you have that opportunity. You also have the opportunity to say, like, I need to show up with the best 60 of this deck and tune it and take pride in the list that you're bringing to the tournament. The number of times where, like, in the local community, I'm known as Scapeshift Guy by some people. And it's just because I have a tuned Scapeshift list that I really like, that I play with all the time. And, that wasn't normal now. Like, now people play Scapeshift decks all the time. They have the red-green one, they have the Bring to Light one, but this was before that even happened. And, we even had a local player who actually literally invented the Grishal deck and got 0 credit for it. And, that's inappropriate, but people are like, brewing's dead, it doesn't exist, and there are tons of people innovating out there. They really, really are. And they're able to innovate and attack metagames, honestly, because net decking exists. Otherwise, it would actually be a lot harder. So, in my opinion, stop saying net decking is ruining the game and go out there and innovate. Go do something different. Go attack the metagame the way you see fit. And if you can't find something and you want to play Mardu vehicles, go play Mardu vehicles. You have that right. It's okay. It's honestly not a problem for the game, but don't get upset when some brew takes you down for something that's prepared for you. There's so many people that are on both sides of the spectrum, and honestly, I think we should just remove the word from our vocabulary, because honestly, the metagame is going to get defined whether or not these decks are on the internet, posted by Wizards of the Coast or Star City Games, people are going to see what wins their local FNM. They're going to attack it, and then a metagame is going to develop. It's always going to exist. People want to beat each other at Magic. It's just part of the game. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think. You can leave a comment. You can also check out the podcast on constructivecriticism.com, mtgcast.com, and here on YouTube. You can also support this content by going to patreon.com/ccmtg, becoming a patron of our content. Every dollar is really appreciated, and we look forward to speaking with you guys. So thank you so much. You can also check out puremtgo.com and mtgotraders.com, where you can also find these videos every week. Thanks, everybody, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.